welcome to how to make an ornament wreath in any color, also known as the best Christmas DIY I've ever made. Here's everything you'll need, just pause to read. There's also a materials list in the description below. Start by sorting your ornaments by size. I use small, medium, and large, and then by color. This wreath needs a lot of ornaments, so organization up front will help you make enough of every color. Now it's time to add color. I suggest using 7 colors overall to help give variety when gluing everything together. Acrylic paint from the craft store is great, and I found the Decor art line to be thick and quality. I used 2 bottles of each color to make all of my ornament. Add your paint to a cup and then add a bit of pouring medium, just enough to cover the paint. You can always add more later. This will help your paint cover faster in the ornaments. Stir well to combine and then pour about a quarter amount in the ornament. Just to coat the inside, you can swirl that around. I also found that placing a paper towel over the hole while shaking it works too. Once the ornament is covered, it's time to remove the excess paint by placing upside down. You'll want to tap the sides a few times to get that initial paint out. You can set aside to dry. Here's a quick tip for drying. So if you place your ornament upside down on a paper towel, chances are the paint is going to pour out and leave you not only with a bit of a mess, but the ornament might stick to the paper towel as well. And that could damage your paint like the one that I did here. Instead, place your ornament upside down in a cup. You'll want to make sure there's enough space in the cup for the paint to flow out freely and just dry like this for 2 days. Now it's time to put the wreath together. I originally wasn't going to cover my frame in tinsel, but decided that I'd rather see that pop of gold than the white foam. I really probably could have used 2 spools, but I made what I had work. I secured the tinsel with hot glue, wrapped it around the frame, and then glued at the end as well. This method will help you reposition the tinsel at the end. Leave room for your hanger because you want to make sure that it's in place before you glue your ornaments. I used 2 different colors of ribbon just to give it that extra pop of whimsy. I made a simple loop knot and then left plenty of ribbon for hanging. And you can also add a bow with this method. It just gives a little more flexibility when hanging. And for the final part, actually making the wreath. The best tip I can give you is to start playing with your color order of the ornaments before you glue anything down. This will ensure that you don't have 2 of the same colors side by side. It's not the end of the world, but it will help your wreath look better in the end. Start along the inside of your wreath. You'll glue the ornaments upside down, but to give it extra strength, place your glue on the ornament and not the silver cap. Gluing the ornaments to the form as well as to each other will give it the best possible hold. If you're using glass ornaments, just be extra careful with the amount of pressure you have with these holds. Continue until you're all the way around. Assembling the wreath is pretty straightforward. I think the tricky part comes down to the ornament placement. So you want to avoid any sizable gaps, all while not repeating colors right next to each other. So again, playing around with the placement before gluing will be your best friend. That and being generous with the hot glue. Go in and fill those small gaps between the ornaments and the frame and between the ornaments to each other just to make it as strong as possible. Just be sure to clean up those hot glue strands as you're working. The goal is to not really see the hot glue, so just keep all those focus on those pretty ornaments. Also, budget enough time for this. Making the ornaments took me a few days, and then putting it all together took almost 2 hours, but it was all worth it because look at the wreath. It is, again, my favorite project of all time, I think, for Christmas, and I can't wait to hang this up year after year. So I can't wait to see how yours turned out. Tag me, let me know, let me see. I can't wait, and I hope you have a happy holiday.